Well, everybody knows you can't just nibble at the tip.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Deep Drop. This is a fishing podcast hosted by myself, Luke McCredden, and my good friend and co-host, Adam Ring. Ads, firstly, how are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Secondly...
I'm so ready.
So ready. Secondly, let's get out there straight off the bat what the podcast is all about.
You don't know this yet, Luke, but you have already... in this pod, episode 131 of The Deep Drop, you've already summed up what it is.
Oh.
For those listening at home, Luke's had a little bit of a cold for the last little week, and you probably heard in his voice just at the start to this pod that he's still a little bit crackly. That's The Deep Drop. It's passion. It's the willingness to push through when you're not feeling 100%.
Yeah.
It's always the right time to listen to The Deep Drop. So, tip of the deep drop cap to you, Luke, pushing through. I know you're feeling all right, but you know what?
Yeah.
It would have been easy not to do this episode 131 right now.
Yeah.
But here you are, toughing it out in the trenches. We love you.
Nah, thank you. You're not going to stop me tonight. I'm going to push on through and apologise if it does crack up a bit. I just realised I've again haven't put the deep drop cap on. I have found it since last week.
Oh, nice. Is it filthy?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got
Nice.
some. Yeah, it's got some.
You're not going to wash it though, are you?
No,
Because it's now got character.
yeah, I feel like it's kind of like the baggy green that Steve Waugh wore.
Yes.
Never washed it. It was literally falling apart until he retired.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I look a bit dishevelled, so I'm glad we're not a full-blown video podcast. I mean, you will see me if you head to the socials tonight because there'll be some clips go up, but
And you should head to the socials.
forgive me. Well, you should, and if you have this week, you've seen quite a bit of action. Our top 6 from last week ads, mostly positive feedback. The pizza toppings.
I don't think it was that controversial.
Well,
we acknowledged a sub if need be.
Yeah, there were some. Probably the only negative comments were around the fact that where's the seafood, and I went okay. I acknowledge that.
Yeah,
It's not big for me.
No, and I get it.
Yeah.
And I know plenty of people do like it. And I'm a massive fan of seafood. Just not, I don't not like it. Just wasn't
Yeah.
in my top,
Top 6.
half a dozen for a pizza.
Yeah, but this is what it's all about, though. So heading over to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you want to find us, we're all on those platforms. Spotify is its own platform these days, and getting that feedback to us because that's what it's all about. We give our top 6, or we give our opinions and ideas on weird fishing topics and the like, but that's not where it ends. It
No,
continues.
it's only where it starts.
Yes. So thank you, everyone, for getting involved. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Instagram was alive this week. I'm not going to lie. There was.
Can we just pause for a second?
Yep.
This was wild, and anyone that hasn't seen it, I suggest you head over to the Deep Drop on Instagram and check out the latest reaction video because, Luke, I was shocked. And I thought you did a really good job of playing a pretty straight bat, and reading through the comments has been like really, really good. Let's just say, because I don't want to ruin it, no spoilers here.
Yep.
I'm just going to say the United States
Yep.
and Australia are two very different places.
Very, very different countries and very different fisheries. Listen, shout out. If there's that, I'm not sure how many people from the US listen. We do get some analytics that tells us there is a small percentage, but that could just be, random sort of, internet-y type stuff.
That's
not
okay.
But if you are and you're from the US, we love you, and we love that you run a different race and you do your own thing. As hopefully you respect that we do that too. So this was just merely just, I guess, identifying something that was very
Foreign to us in Australia.
foreign to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No hate. No hate. Just genuine intrigue and surprise.
And I appreciate all the fine folk from the US of A jumping on Instagram and telling us and giving us your thoughts and feelings on it. It's good.
It's awesome. It's what we want.
Yeah. So please, anyone who hasn't checked that out, who's listening right this second, when you get a moment, jump over and check it out and see what I'm talking about. It's interesting.
it's pretty funny.
If you haven't done so, get to Instagram, get to TikTok, and get to YouTube, get to Spotify, and follow all 4 platforms. Ads, a few weeks back, we called out to do to partake in, I suppose, the grand slam of following the deep drop.
Yes. We got a few Grand Slammers?
No. So that's what I'm saying. The challenge is very much out there. I think there's a couple that double up. I know there's some of the regulars are across a couple of those platforms, maybe 2 or 3. But we want comments on each of the platforms, and there will be prizes to be won. That's all I'll say.
I like it.
It's the Grand Slam. Follow, subscribe, or whatever it is. Subscribe, follow, whatever you need to do. And drop a comment saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, and I'm here. And then, and do you know what I was thinking? I'm getting way off track here, and this isn't even in the notes or the run sheet. I've got a lot of... we work... Anyone who is new, peek behind the curtains. Adam and I work in the tackle industry, the fishing, the retail industry, whatever you want to call it. So we've both got probably more product than we need. It's fair to say.
Yeah, fair to say.
I reckon I could, very fortunate position that we get send a lot of product, which is great, and I use as much of it as I can. But there's stuff that I probably won't. Maybe we should do a bit of a Luke's Garage sort of giveaways. Is a bit of
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But we need Grand Slammers, please. Complete the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And this is specifically for the Grand Slammers.
Yep.
Just a simple I'm here on all 4 of the platforms.
Yep.
So what are those
So
platforms?
Spotify is a platform now, right? So you can actually drop comments on episodes. So jump into the latest episode, this one or previous one.
So I'm here.
I'm here. TikTok.
I'm here.
YouTube.
I'm here.
And Instagram.
And I'm here.
And so subscribe and follow to all of those channels and drop a comment. And I will rummage through what is a decent amount of
The garage is open, people.
Garage doors will swing open.
Hit the Grand Slam.
Yep.
And
you know what else might be coming your way, Ads? Because as I lead into talking about the deepdrop.au, which is the web address that you should go to and check out the Deep Drop website, there is some merch on that website. Adam and I will throw that into the Grand Slammers too. So talk us through the merch.
So the merch, it is the combo. There's no other combo, and it's not a rod and reel combo.
No.
It's the combo.
Yeah.
Deep drop cap and stubby holder combo makes every situation of your life just that little bit sweeter. Whether it's, you can't be bothered going to get a haircut. I get it. Slap a deep drop cap on. Still a little bit of sun out there. Slap a deep drop cap on. And stubby holder.
No sun out
We've
there.
been through this.
Slap a deep drop cap on.
Slap it on. If you just like the comfortability of a good trucker cap, this is what it is.
It's clean. It's black with the green logo. Like there's
Green
not,
logo.
you know what I mean? It's not
Wear
going
it
to
anywhere.
offend anyone. Yeah.
Wear it to the pub. Wear it to a family gathering. Wear it out fishing.
Wedding.
Whatever you like, funeral, whatever. Yeah. And then you can pair that up with a deep drop stubby holder.
Yes.
Which is well documented by now.
Yeah.
I don't get tired of saying it, Luke, because I really haven't found a drink that I haven't put in it and it's made it the best drink ever. So I suggest everybody head over to the deepdrop.au, have a little bit of a click through the site. You can check out what's going on with all of the episodes that we've ever done. So if you want to find something specific, that's where you'll go to know where to go and what episode to listen to. A little bit about you and I, Luke. We've been doing this for a little while. And then the merch.
Merch. Yep, I love it. We could even, if anyone out there is getting married, maybe we could supply the stubby holders for the wedding.
Yeah.
So each table.
Imagine that. Rocking up to a wedding and there's these fluoro green stubby holders everywhere.
Reach out if you're getting married anytime soon. Okay. Now, with that, Ads, fair to say our stubby holders, our deep drop stubby holders, are jam-packed tonight.
Yep.
You and I, and shout out to everyone who's dropped suggestions. Even the one suggestion that said, when asked what should drink of the week be, anything except an orange Powerade.
Oh,
you don't know what you're missing. Shout out to everyone. So this was a suggestion, ads, and we've gone with the brand suggested, but we've kind of mixed it up. So we're tonight rocking a Jameson. Are we saying Jameson or Jameson?
It's a Jamo.
It's a Jamo Irish whiskey. Now, I think the cans are a new look. They're a new design from memory. There's a bit of a
Don't know how I feel about the new can.
Don't you? Okay.
No.
Well, I'm going.
But anyway,
as I crack the
solid crack on that.
Yeah, that was a good crack, wasn't it? I am going with the dry and lime.
I like it, and that's normally where I'd go, but I decided to mix it up.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I'm going the Jamo and Cola.
Yep. All right. Well,
and
cheers.
Just
bottoms up.
Cheers to you.
Oh, that's refreshing.
I'm just going to throw it out there.
Did you just do the slurp into the microphone there?
I've probably. Sorry.
It was good. ASMR.
I need to drink more Jamo.
Do you? Okay. As a rule?
Just as a general rule.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good... It's been a while since
in
I've had a
moderation and
Jamo.
responsibly.
Absolutely.
Of course.
How long's it been since you've had a Jamo?
I can actually remember where I was the last time I had a good session on Jamo, and it was Jamo and Dry.
Can I just say something?
It was...
Sorry.
Yeah, go.
Before you go on, just quietly, is this deep drop green on the Jamo Dry and Lime?
I think it might be. It is.
Holy moly. Can we reach out to Jamo?
I think we should.
Yeah. Sorry, continue. Your last Jamo?
The last time I had a good session on Jamo was actually at a Tackle World do.
Yeah.
When I was working there, and no
you would have
bullshit,
needed a few.
No bullshit, and a massive shout out to the boys in Gippsland, because I was seated at a table with them, and the fine establishment that we were at actually ran out of Jameson.
Wow! So you properly had a crack.
It was a good sesh.
Were you? So not pre-mixed cans, like you were?
No.
They
were
straight out
just,
the bottle.
You know,
yeah, nice. Yeah, good. All right. Well, that's good. I'm happy. I'm not going to lie. We're going to probably need a break halfway through this so I can go grab another one. I only brought one into the studio tonight. I've got some out in the other fridge, so I'm going to need a deep drop bar fridge, aren't we? We're going to have to
put it on the list.
Yeah, okay. Fuck, it's
We're going
getting
to have to work on that.
Is anyone out there listening work in refrigeration and can hook us up with a couple of bar fridges? Let us know. We'll give you a cap.
I like it. And stubby old.
Yeah. All right, good. Ads, we are coming off the back of a couple of short weeks around the country. Wherever you are, you've enjoyed it. Don't even...
Really enjoyed it.
I'm telling you, you've enjoyed it. Whether the weather was great or shit, doesn't matter. It's a short week. You can do something, you know what I mean? But it was interesting because it was actually quite inconsistent weather down in our part, Ads, in our neck of the woods. There was some really nice sort of still weather. A few people got offshore and the like. And then there was a bit of shit floating around as well that you sort of, you had to avoid. But overall, it wasn't bad. But it's kind of... I was thinking about this recently I was just out actually on the kayak one day out in the bay, and it made me think of it. And this weekend, with the inconsistent sort of weather, made me think I'm going to bring it to the table and get your thoughts on it. Because we know that, obviously, typically, anglers, we'll check a forecast before we go out. We'll go, all right, no, it's good. No, it's shit. Or it's okay, I'll go do this. But often, as we know, weather changes so quick. Often the weather does shift and change when we're out on the water already, whether you're out miles offshore or you're up a creek in a kayak or you're in the bay in your boat. And it's crazy what it does. And this is kind of what I wanted to bring up. It's crazy what a change in weather, or what weather in general, can do to your fishing mindset. And what I mean by that is you might be out there and it's when you start fishing, it's doing something, 5 knot northerly, and it's pretty pleasant. No dramas. You set yourself up around that and you go, okay, well, I'm going to be drifting this way. I'm going to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden it's a 15 knot sou'easter. And you go, fuck, it's still fishable, but it's messing with me because it's thrown everything out the window and my drift's changed and the fish are biting differently now. And, my lure's acting differently because the water's a bit like... So it throws it. And this is also why, by the way, fishing's so fucking cool, because so many variables, so many things chop and change while fishing that it makes you think. But it's a real mental game, isn't it? When that sort of stuff happens, and you can find yourself either going, "I'm out of here. I kept too hard basket," or "All right, let's reset and see what we can do." Do you
It's
find yourself
weird.
getting that real puzzled sort of situation?
Oh, for sure. And I think weather almost ruins confidence more than what the actual fishing does.
Yeah.
So I've got, and I do have an example of this. I did fish over the course of the last weekend. And listen, I've got some things to knock off. I'm 1-0 down. So I dedicated some time and I didn't tick a reso. So I went and did something completely different.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I went fishing.
Get your
and
eye
wasn't. Yeah, I needed a confidence, but I needed to catch
Yeah.
fucking something.
Yeah.
So anyway, forecast was exactly what you just described. It was okay. It was not bad enough that was not even in the mind that I'm not going,
Yeah.
but knew it wasn't going to be perfect. It's still the most frustrating thing, and I'm two things specifically: wind and tide.
Yeah.
I found wind, and I'm not pretending it was windy because it wasn't. It was 10 knots max,
Right.
but it was enough
Yeah.
to properly fuck up a good cast.
Yeah.
Now, I was casting into not shallow banks, but banks where you needed to hit the mangrove line as close as you could. So that's fine, except for when you've got light lures and it's blowing 10 knots.
Yep.
It was so frustrating. Because you would just get to a point where you got your eye in on where you needed to cast to adjust for the wind and the breeze would back off.
Yeah.
So you never got a consistent, this is what I need to do to get it in there.
Yeah.
It was annoying.
Well, it's also got wind knots written all over it.
I thought I nearly threw a twin power overboard.
Well, oh, you got wind knots.
It was wrapped on the spool, and I didn't know before going. And buggered if I know how this actually.
Oh, it was a pre-tide wind knot.
Mate. You know the issues you have with a bait caster?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I had one with a spin reel.
Don't rub it in.
No, I had one with a spin reel.
Wow.
So I was stripping line off a spin reel with raging. Oh, I won't say raging current. The tide hadn't really pushed yet, but enough current and a shit wind. So I was trying to paddle and stay in the middle of the river.
Yeah.
With line fucking everywhere. It was going under the paddle. It was going under the handle of the reel.
Fuck all of that.
I ended up cracking the shits, but I got it, and I was okay after that. But it's those tiny things. The breeze fucks a good plan.
The drift, like that. This was the reason it came into my head the other day out in the bay. It was the weirdest fucking combo of tide and wind, exactly like you say. That every single time I reset a drift, I drifted a different fucking direction.
Oh, that's the worst.
What is up with that?
That's the worst.
I can't believe I stayed out there as long as I did that particular session. Because that shit is insane. Like, what the hell is that?
And we both fish out of kayaks pretty much the vast majority, if not all the time, we're in kayaks. So you can't just bang the lecky on 8 and steer it into the current to stand still. You can't. And it's the worst. And then once the tide started actually going, so now I was getting bent over by the wind and the tide.
No, you can stick
and it was
that.
just, mate, I reckon I was drifting faster than I could paddle.
Yeah. I understand, like, we're not, and shout out, we've had John Didge on the show before, and you know, listeners know that I fish with John a bit. And, mate, he's got on his boat electric motors, power poles, the works.
Yeah.
I love it because it's an up yours to those situations.
Correct.
Jam that fucking power pole in deep.
Yep.
And stick that fucking lecky on 8 and let's go.
Yeah.
You ain't
and
nothing.
and let's not go because
Yes.
the wind ain't moving you. Have you ever mucked around with a drogue or a sea anchor in your kayak?
Not in a kayak, no. But even...
I have years ago in the bay.
Yeah, right. I had a sea anchor on that last boat. Remember that tabs that I had?
Yep.
I fucking hate sea anchors. There's nothing about them that gives me any sort of confidence or, enjoyment. It's like if I need a sea anchor, I'm not going. It's as simple as that.
It's fun because the days before I had a pedal kayak and I had a paddle kayak, I had one for pinky fishing out in the bay.
Yeah, gotcha.
They can be a trap for young players if you're not paying attention. Because obviously you need to be wary of where you position it. If you get that wrong, it can just turn your side on straight into a little bit of slot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, gotcha.
And I've never mucked around with it in an estuary because you're probably not really relying on it needs to be a controlled drift. You still need to be able to pedal and paddle and all. Whereas out in the open, it's not too bad. But it was.
No, I get it. Did you end up battling the conditions and having a win?
Yeah,
and the line.
I finally caught some fish, Luke. I'm so fucking happy.
Yeah, I feel like you're more relaxed tonight.
Trout.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, the monkey's off the back. Yes. And it had nothing to do with a monthly reso. And we're only... Actually, this time next week, we'll be cementing a new resolution. Is that right?
Shit. Yep.
Yeah, so there's that to worry about.
Yep.
But this had nothing to... Yeah, for me, it is a worry. I'm 0-1 down and don't even look like striking any of mine off at the moment. But that's okay. I've got time.
Yeah, you'll be right, I reckon.
I went for a perch fish, Luke, and I've got the bug bad.
Good.
Bad.
Well, it's great. It's a good time. We're heading into good perch time.
Oh, mate, it's that's what I want to do.
So what did you do? Talk us through it real quick. Not real quick. Let's take your time. It's your fucking podcast. Go for it.
Well, it was when I say it was a strange bite, it was a strange trip. I actually did a little bit of research. I haven't fished. I went down to Venus Bay.
Right.
So I haven't fished there in, I think just coming out of COVID might have been the last time I fished at Venus Bay.
Okay.
So was kind of, didn't really have an idea where to go, just did the old look at Google Maps and try and find where there's a deep channel. Anyway, where I identified where I wanted to go, I got there, no worries. So the conditions weren't bad. It was just enough to be annoying on the cast and drift, basically.
Yeah, gotcha.
Didn't catch a fish where I'd planned to go, but I found a few other fish around. But it was just a couple of fish here and there. We'd get two quickly and then not get one for 45 minutes an hour. Then get two and then get nothing for a little. And I ended up getting six perch. Biggest was 39.
Nice.
But the best bit of it for me was I noticed in some pockets a lot of bait showering in close. I got two fish on top water, which I had no intention. I had no intention of fishing top water. I found one top water lure in the kit because I tend to not take much because I'm tall. I'm not the most mobile person ever. I can't turn around behind me and take loads of shit and grab it out of the back of the yak. So I found one top water lure, got two fish in two casts on it, and was pumped. Could have easily gone home, but found a few more fish on the way back to the ramp.
How good's that? That's so awesome. Good. All right, well, maybe that should have been your reso.
It might be for next month.
Yeah, no, fair. All right, good. Well, that's good. Well, maybe, yeah. But it does, yeah. I was just thinking then when we were talking about because the fishing mindset and what the weather does, but I think you touched on something. Maybe at some point we need to put together a list, whether it's a top 6 or it's just a bit of a list of the biggest mind fucks in fishing. Because I'm not sure, weather would certainly be right up there, but line would have to be real close to the top. Braid. Like I went for a trout fish the other day Oh, I went looking for cormorants and flicked a few lures for trout while I was out
Yeah.
there.
Nice.
No cormorants. Bit disappointing.
Interesting.
Yeah, got some trout, so whatever. But I got some nice trout actually. I wasn't expecting too much, but we got some really nice fish. But I was having I call it kind of an Adam Ring moment. And I don't want you to feel.
Did
too
you throw the
offended by
toys
that.
out of the cot?
Nearly.
Ooh.
Nearly. I was nearly having a moment, and I kept popping my leader knot. And what I didn't realise was that the braid on that particular reel had probably been on there a little bit long. Not ages, but probably a little bit long. And that's a very used reel. Like I use that a lot, and I think it's just the top maybe 10, 20 metres is just a bit worn, a bit used, a bit worn. And it was causing wind knots very easily, and just little frayed bits would fuck up the leader knot, and whatever.
Yeah.
So I was losing it. I was getting frustrated. I was busting a lot of wind knots. I was busting a couple of leader knots, and I lost some lures that day. I lost more. I actually said at the time, I fished with our good friend Lee Rayner, who, if you're ever going trout fishing in Victoria or New South Wales, there's probably not many people better to go with. So it's a good one-on-one session. I did say at the time that I reckon I've lost more lures today than I have for a long time. So it was an interesting sort of.
Okay, so
and it wasn't all just popping them off. There was a couple, in snags and trees. A couple still hanging in trees, which is cool.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was interesting in itself. That's frustrating, and it's just in its own right, isn't it? Losing it. Actually, so there you go. So losing a lure is probably one of those in that list of things that does your head in fishing, isn't it? So can we write down to do that in an upcoming episode where we'll actually break down the biggest fishing mindfucks? I'm
writing something down.
You're writing a note? Jesus.
I am.
I didn't think there were any pens.
I've changed, man. See a few fish and I've changed.
Yeah, you have. See what happens?
I'm up and about. So hang on, what was it again?
Yeah, you've got to get better at note taking. It's on the fly. It's got to be seamless. The listener has to think you're not writing things down. Ads, come on, be better.
No, I wrote it down.
Biggest fishing mindfucks.
I actually think that would be a great top 6.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's keep an eye out for that one in the coming episodes.
Yep, we've gone.
That'll be good. Okay. Good. Not sure that. Yeah. I'm thinking about it now. Fucking hell, it could be a top 20, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we've ticked off some estuary perch and some trout this week. That's good.
That's good. We made the most of the bit of time off over the couple of long weekends that we had in a row. It was good. Because the worst days weather were those 3 days in between where there was actually some work going on. Now, admittedly, I didn't work.
Not for you. No.
I took annual leave.
Yeah.
So didn't really worry me. But at least the shit days were when some people were working.
I take the piss.
Me not being one of them.
I take the piss, but one of the hot topics has been cormorants. And hand on heart, didn't see one. But that's a very small sample size. I'm very curious.
I think you've just debunked the whole thing.
Do you reckon
Fucking
it's just...
no cormorants?
No. Or is cormorant a code word?
For what?
Fish traps?
Ooh.
Guns? American style?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Have we just unlocked a conspiracy?
Maybe.
The cormorant theory. Listen, keep an eye on Spotify.
Paradox.
That'll be its own podcast at some stage, won't it?
Yeah.
Or on Netflix, like one of those series. It's limited edition Netflix exclusive.
There's only like 4 episodes or something.
The cormorant theory. Fuck. I'm watching it. I'm not going to lie.
Cormorant Gate.
Cormorant Gate.
Or the Cormorant Paradox.
It was early 2025. Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
I like where this is headed. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
so
storyboard
if cormorant was a code word, was a metaphor, was a cover up, what is it? What is it? Is it poaching? Is it
Did they have a crack at the carp virus and it kind of got it wrong.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's... Wow. I mean, the talk of carp virus has quietened off a bit.
Maybe because it wiped out all the trout.
Oh, my God. And they've gone...
Now, just before everyone starts losing their
Code
shit...
cormorant. Code cormorant.
Before everyone starts losing their shit, this is purely made up by us.
Or are you in on it?
Or am I?
How well do I really know Adam? That's
episode 3.
1. That's episode 1. No, it's episode 1.
Oh,
it started with a joke on a podcast.
Yes.
But when we
was
studied
it?
Adam Ring a bit further, we realised he was a mole.
He's a proper dodgy prick.
He's a fucking dodgy. Wow. I can't believe we've just gone from I caught a couple of trout and lost a couple of lures to...
to there's no cormorants is a conspiracy theory.
Jesus. Do you reckon that's a 4-parter or like a 6-parter?
Realistically, what the conspiracy could be, it probably found that with recent, events overseas, there's been some gnarly tariffs on trout. So, stocking hasn't been as easy as it once was from the VFA because, in order to get any... And I know we've got hatcheries here, but the hatcheries are only so big.
Yeah.
And, tariffs.
Tariffs. Hashtag tariffs.
Yeah.
Hashtag cormorant.
Hashtag conspiracy.
Hashtag conspiracy. Well, you heard it here first, folks, and that's probably the last you'll ever hear of it.
Correct. And and depending on how accurate we are, maybe the last time you ever hear from us.
You might know. That's right. Adam Ring went mysteriously off the radar after that.
Yeah.
You might just disappear. They're already onto you. They're on the way to your house right now. Hey, Yads, to sidestep a little bit. Just quickly, now I don't know if you know this. I know you're a big sport fan. Obviously, we are in the midst of NBA playoffs.
Yep, round 1.
And we're not, not all of us in the room are overly happy about the way things are going at the moment. But I can move on from that. Let's not harp on that.
Yeah. Well, both of us actually, because
both of us actually.
My Magic are battling too.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, let's not get bogged into that. But obviously, it's a crazy time. Am I right in saying NFL drafts are on at the moment?
Yep, just happened.
Happened,
and a very controversial.
Okay, so there's a lot going on in that, and particularly that American sports scene. And I don't know about you, but I kind of don't mind when you're watching the NBA playoffs or you're watching the NFL or UFC or whatever it is, and one of those really inspiring ESPN ads come on and it sort of just pumps you up. I don't know if you've seen this, but I was watching the basketball the other day, Bucks Pacers, and this came on.
The wait is over. This Saturday, it's arena fishing on ESPN. Epic hookups, brutal fights, rods will be bent, egos will be crushed, records will be broken, history will be made. Saturday from 2 p.m.
So I don't know if arena fishing's taken off. ESPN have jumped all over it.
I've got goosebumps.
I'm pumped about it. So 2 p.m. Saturday, apparently. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's, I'm not surprised that ESPN and our global partners have jumped on board and they want to see this happen. So,
listen,
incredible.
When the people recognise a good thing, there's no point in fucking around.
Nah.
It's a quick turnaround. And I love it.
The Americans don't fuck about.
Nah, they don't muck around, mate.
Especially when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
But, hey, we have a laugh on the deep drop, but that right there, that's where
sounded pretty legit to me,
mate. That's where it could be headed, and sounds like it is headed.
That's gold.
Now I wanted to I've got a question for you, and I know I'm sorry to hijack the show. I sort of kicked off earlier as well, but this also came into my mind. Well, don't need to preface it with that. Let's be honest. Anything we talk about on this show just randomly appears in our brains, right? That's kind of how how we work. And it's kind of a simple one, and I'm really curious as to get your thoughts on it. And I know there's a lot of variations of this, but where's your head at when it comes to tying on a lure versus attaching it with a snap swivel?
This is weird because I have been thinking about it a lot.
Really?
And I
That is
I
weird.
have. And the reason it's been prompted is because I've been watching a fair bit of a couple of dudes on YouTube, like that you actually put me onto. And
Right.
and shout out to the Boatside crew.
Oh, boat side. Yes.
I've been watching a lot of it.
Actually, can we just take a moment? Because I don't think... have we mentioned this on the show before?
I don't think so.
Boatside? No. So Boatside, just because we love... anyone listening will know that we love watching and consuming content online, YouTube, fishing content. We stumbled across this ads recently, and go on. Just as a recommendation, go online, jump on YouTube, search Boatside,
Yep.
and it's a joy to watch, isn't
It's
it?
awesome.
It's a couple of best mates from Finland. Finland?
Yep.
Yeah. And targeting big, what do they call them? Southern pike, whatever, northern pike, whatever it is.
Yep. Big pike.
Massive, like big, proper fish.
Yep.
And with big fucking lures, like cool lures, like good. And they're just heaps of fun, these guys. Like, it's just really enjoyable to watch. So do yourself a favour, as Molly would say, and go and check that out. So, but sorry, I've hijacked what you were talking about. But
No. It's because I noticed they use snaps quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I've been racking my brain and trying to work out when is the right situation to use
Yeah.
like a quick change swivel, whether it's a snap swivel or whether it's one of those roll on, roll off type arrangements.
Yeah.
Because I don't use them, but the thought process is I would really like to use them because I think it would promote me maybe trying more things.
Yes, 100%. As in more different types of lures.
Different types of lures, different colours, because
Yep.
it's easy just to... So I started compiling a mental list. Because
Sorry, I'm just thinking about you going, I should do that, but fuck that. It means I've got to tie another fucking knot.
got to cut it off, and then I've got to get it... You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it does factor into my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the no-brainer is squid jigs.
Yes.
If anybody is tying to a squid jig anymore, why?
No, and that's a different... So, and this is where I just wanted to clarify this too, because there's a difference between a snap swivel and a lure clip or a lure snap or whatever. You know.
Not a snap swivel. They're
No.
shit.
So I'm talking, and I've literally got some over there, just a lure clip, which is just a roll-on, roll-off type arrangement.
Yep. Or like, you know, the eggy snaps where you do
Yep.
actually close them up and pinch them and whatnot. So
Yeah.
So here's my little list of
Okay.
absolute no-brainers that
Okay.
you should just use a clip. And please correct me if you think I'm wrong.
I'll jump in.
So squid jigs,
Yeah, clip, done.
metal lures.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
is there an argument for a snap swivel with a metal lure, given the... Well, when we say metal lure, you're talking casting...
Yeah. Whether it's a metal slug for a sambo or a wonder wobbler for a trout.
I'm absolutely happy with a clip, or even, like I said, even a swivel. To be honest, just to take that line twist out of it. But anyway, continue. Yep.
Okay. Vibes?
Well, it's funny because a lot of metal vibes come with those little clips attached to them, don't they? Those small ones, I'm talking.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's weird because they seem like they'd be a massive pain in the ass to get off the clip. Are you better off leaving the clip on and then just tying to the clip?
Yeah. So the clip stays attached to
To the lure.
yeah,
Yeah.
and tying onto that. Yeah, so effectively you're just tying on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if you were to change, are you going to try and take the vibe off the clip?
No, fuck that. And you're not
Yeah.
putting a clip on the clip either.
No, that's just silly.
Because that's just like, when you were a kid and you used to attach paper clips to each other
Yeah.
and just see
Yeah.
how long you could make them.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
You might as well do that.
Yeah. What else would be? Now, here's one that I couldn't, in theory, you should be snapping, and it would make life a billion times easier, but I've never done it.
Yeah.
Should we be using clips for soft plastics and jig heads? Because,
No.
and here's my theory.
I couldn't. Nah.
It seems so wrong. But hear me out. Now, I don't do this, but I'm trying to think of why I wouldn't. The extra weight on the front of your jig head, the weight of the clip, means nothing. Because you're not changing an action, you're not affecting a sink rate. Because that's always been the knock on clips is, if it's a light lure, if it's a 2.5 gram lure and you go and add a little bit of weight to the nose, it's going to change the action of it. It's not changing for a soft plastic.
No, the only thing I would say is, and don't get me wrong, we definitely change up sizes, but usually once you get in your groove where you're fishing, you're probably running with the same size for most of the session.
Well,
weight. Maybe the hook changes. So, yeah, maybe you are changing a bit more. And
because even just on my last trip that we were talking about earlier, I changed jig head weights 3 times in 15 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Well, you just need to be better.
I need more rods.
No, that's fair. And look, I think if you're in a boat, you've probably got a couple of multiple rods. But yeah,
but I would never just undo the clip and I wouldn't do it.
Nah.
But why?
I don't know.
Because it doesn't seem right, does it?
It doesn't seem right.
It seems silly using a clip for a jig head.
But it only seems silly because we don't do it. What about hard bodies, estuary hard bodies, let's call them? So anything from, a 40 to 100 mil sort of jerkbait, crankbait.
But they're about the only thing I can think of where I could say maybe a clip or a snap is affecting action.
Would affect, and I think it would.
And, okay, what about this? If you were going to use a clip, but you know how all the hard bodies come with a split ring on the toe point?
Mm.
What if you piss the split ring off?
So you negate some of that weight.
Because is the clip and the split ring going to be roughly the same weight?
Yeah, potentially. Yep.
Because you're not going to put the clip on the split ring.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Weird.
That's a bit. There you go.
Yeah.
Well then,
what? So why in this day and age, with clips being so good now as far as how small they can get, why do any hard bodies come with a split ring on the nose? Because
it's a good question.
Because you never want to tie to a split ring because the knot always ends up on the single bit of wire where it rolls a couple of mil and all of a sudden it's underneath the 2 wires in the split ring.
Yeah. But
some lures come with a clip and not a split ring.
Yes, correct.
But
having a look at it.
Majority of them are still coming with split rings. Why?
Poppers often come with split rings too, don't they? Little ones, cup face poppers.
Yeah.
You notice that?
I know. Well, I noticed that a lot in the heavy tackle space, the GT and tuna space. They tend to rig them with like a split ring and a swivel.
Mm.
Like that's
or a solid ring. Yeah, I think. I feel like anything finesse, a clip or a swivel doesn't seem right. But and when I say doesn't seem right, that's purely just what my head says. It might be absolutely fine and work a treat.
So with your small estuary lures, do you tie a loop knot?
This was my next question. This was and including jig heads.
Yes.
Because just right or wrong, tell me I'm right or wrong. I don't. But guess what? For no real reason, I've started to. And I genuinely don't know why I've started to, but I've just started to.
So if you tie the loop knot to your small hard bodies, I know you've been doing some perch fishing and light fishing as well, do you take the split ring off and then tie a loop knot directly to the toe point?
I haven't been doing any of that, nah.
Or do you tie a loop knot to the split ring? Why?
I don't know.
Because in theory, is the split ring giving you the space for the lure to move freely that the loop knot's doing anyway?
Yeah, potentially.
So if you're
You're making me question everything.
So if you're tying a knot directly to the split ring, it's no different to tying a loop knot.
Right. So what do you do?
I just tie directly to the split ring.
Yeah. And
If there was no
So what about
ring,
jig head?
I just tie directly to the jig head.
No loop knot.
No loop knot. I've never tied a loop knot for a plastic.
No, me either until like literally.
Maybe-
Well, actually, no.
maybe
Actually,
I'm wrong.
I still haven't, but I've just started doing it for hard bodies. But I'm thinking, I don't know why. I can't even tell you why. But I think maybe I've just seen people doing it and thought I should start doing that.
The only time I've tied loop knots was in February when we were at Mondi.
Yeah.
It was loop knots on everything.
So why is it
don't
just
know.
a Queensland thing?
It shouldn't be. Actually,
I'm sure it's not. But
throw this out to the community.
okay.
We're talking to light line fishermen because I think for Barra, the norm is you tie a loop knot.
Yeah,
So-
100%.
Yeah, so to the light line community, are you tying directly? This is very wordy. You're going to have to fuck around with this.
I've already worked it out.
Okay,
loop
good,
knot or
go.
not? Loop knot or not?
It's a tongue twister.
Nah. But it's got to be, to lures. Yeah, fuck, it's wordy. I'll work it out. We'll work it out. But effectively, we're going to ask you.
Do you tie a loop knot?
Do you tie a loop knot? Do you attach to your lures with a loop knot? Something like that.
Yeah. When you head on over to socials and you participate in the conversation, I would love just a real quick loop knot, no split ring, or loop knot to split ring.
Yeah,
because
gotcha.
this really interests me because I can't work out why, theoretically, you would tie a loop knot to a split ring.
No, I think, yeah. And maybe that's why.
But does
the split
anyone
ring
want to
still
buy
lives.
a brand new lure or go through their tackle box and take the split rings off the toe point of every lure? I don't think so.
No.
If I was really going to do it, I'd get a pair of side cutters and cut them off.
Oh, fucking oath. Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting because I was going to bring that up because I don't think there's a right or wrong. You could argue that tying directly onto like a crankbait or a jerkbait, if it doesn't have a split ring,
Loop knot makes perfect sense.
yeah, that's so
But-
tying directly or tying it.
So, but
Whatever.
again, would you fuck around with a loop knot or just use a clip? Like, why would you bother with a loop knot if you can just use
Is
a
a
clip?
clip given the freedom a loop knot does?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Seems like it would.
Not as much give, like, you know what I mean? Not as much, room to... I don't know. Fuck.
It's weird.
So in heavier blue water stuff, X-Wraps, Laser Pros, that sort of thing,
Yep.
you're clipping them on with a swivel, aren't you?
Yeah, you're clipping. You're not because it's
Yeah.
hard to tie anything in.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to tie a loop knot in.
100
having said that though, the Barra guys are doing it in 80.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no,
Because it's weird because you go into the blue water and you start crimping.
Yeah, no, but I think I reckon we'd find a fair split down the middle with that. I reckon loop knots for like your X-Wrap 20s and 30s and Laser Pro 190s, 160s is still very much used.
What, as in like people are tying an actual loop knot, not
reckon.
not a loop crimped on. Really?
Well, I don't know. Let's.
Surely not.
Do you want to do a real? Oh no.
I don't know if I'd trust a loop knot. Okay, hang on. Hypothetical. We're back working in the shop.
Yep.
There's an epic barrel bluefin bite going on at Portland at the moment as we speak.
Yep.
And for the people that have been with us a long time, we know exactly what I mean when I say barrel.
Yeah.
They're
100
over 100
plus.
kilos.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you were
Adam's
if you,
very,
I'm
very
very passionate about it.
passionate about this. Don't come
If-
to him
what,
with a
what did
98.
we actually refresher? What did we land on? 95 Guild and Gutted.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Someone who's more recently listened to all the episodes, let us know. What did we say? I think
I'm pretty sure it was 95 Guild and Gutted,
95 Guild and Gutted, allowing for the
or 100 altogether.
100,
It's not
yeah,
a barrel
full.
if it's outside of any of those.
Yeah, I think that's what
Anyway,
we got to.
I digress.
Yeah,
So you're working in the shop. Old mate comes in with his 4 combos, and he wants you to check over the wind-ons.
yeah.
But you notice that all of his lures are attached to those rods with tighter loop knots. What's your reaction?
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm probably uncomfortable with that. Yeah. What's going on here, sir? Yeah.
I wouldn't ask questions. I'd just cut him off.
Here's your problem, mate. Yeah. So yeah, okay. So what's the general
Blue Water
consensus then?
thing's-
It's like
But
clipping
the
them.
blue water thing's different again. And I must admit, I have noted and noticed that with our boatside brothers overseas fishing for pike, there seems to be some of the rigs that are rigged like what we would normally rig a blue water trolling lure with.
Yeah.
It looks like a leader that's actually permanently attached to the lure to a swivel.
That's interesting. So short, yeah, I know. I remember
So you-
seeing this recently.
So you think about the way we would normally rig a hard body.
but are they the
for
ones
trolling?
Are they the ones where that's actual wire though? Because they use wire in some of that for some of those.
It could be. I thought it could be that. I know they do
A bite
cast
leader.
a bit of stuff with cameras sitting in front, so you can see some underwater
yeah.
stuff. I've seen that.
Yeah.
It more than I don't know. It's weird though because a 200 mil or a 220 mil lure for a pike.
Yeah.
Is it getting anywhere near the leader? Oh, they eat them head first, don't they?
Yeah, they can. Yeah. But they're certainly not using wire all the time, so maybe yeah. All right. So what about? All right, we haven't really landed on anything. What about?
What was the original question?
Well, tying a lure direct or using a snap swivel.
Yeah.
So what about when it comes to metal jigs? Is there any benefit in having a snap or a swivel apart from chopping and changing, as you said?
I think that's the only benefit because in the limited amount of trips that I've gone jigging, and by limited I mean like 2.
Yeah.
If there's too much junk going on at the head of the jig, everything just fucking wraps on itself.
I agree. You end up with an assist hook through the eye of a fucking swivel, and it's.
Yeah.
I don't really see. I went through a phase where I was just tying the assist hook on. So tying onto a solid ring, which was then attached to a split ring, which the assist hook was attached to.
Yeah.
And then you'd clip your jig onto that split ring.
Yeah.
So you could chop and change jigs just simply by taking it on and off the split ring.
But then you need split ring pliers.
Yeah, but come on, mate. You can pocket them. Like, it's not a big deal. It's a.
I think you're vastly.
What would you rather
underestimating
tie?
How much I don't want to do.
Oh no, no. No. Would you rather cut and retie a jig, or change a jig via split ring?
Change a jig. No one likes tying heavy lead.
No. Well, there you go. Yeah. So, just trying to come up with situations, but it's good. It's good when you know that you know, Kingfish 5.0 assist hook. Really, you're not going to need to change the hook unless it gets bent or blunt or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. You're realistically only swapping jigs.
Yeah. So there's that. What else? What else is? I mean, there's so much stick baits, poppers, like blue water stuff.
But a lot of the blue water stuff I've seen's got bloody split rings and swivels hanging off it.
So you just tie straight up.
Yeah, it's weird. And I haven't done any of that sort of fishing, so I don't really know.
But you're not attaching a snap onto that split ring.
No, you're just tying to the split ring.
Yeah.
No, to the swivel. because the split ring on the nose of a cut face
Oh, it
popper.
has a like a crane
and
swivel
then
on it or
and
something.
then a swivel. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But not always. So if it's just a swivel, just a split ring, what are you doing?
Maybe.
There's a lot of line twist there. Potential line twist.
And there's also I don't like tying anything direct to a split ring because it always finds a way
Yeah.
to damage
So
itself on the joint.
So then if it doesn't come with said swivel already, do you attach one? Not a snap, just a swivel.
Just a swivel. I don't know. If it didn't have a swivel, I'd be just using a snap. But I don't know. So okay, so a little bit off topic, a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
In your small lures that have the split ring on the front, when you tie the knot to the split ring, where do you try and pull the knot down? Do you try and pull it down so it cinches up hard against that one piece of wire between the two ends? You know how you...
Nah, because I feel like that it's a chance to slide under.
Good answer.
Yeah. I go for
I'm
the
exactly
complete
the same.
opposite side.
Yeah, and I'm pulling down, cinching down hard on...
Cinching hard.
Yeah. That could be on the back of a shirt, I reckon. Cinching hard.
I'm a hard cincher. Yeah. or a bumper sticker, hard cincher on board.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
I don't know if we answered anything, but we threw a hell of a lot of different scenarios out there, and I still really want to use snaps. I just don't. Put it on the list. You and I need to do a trip, a Plackies trip,
Yeah.
and one of us is tying direct to the jig head and one's using a snap. I want to know if it makes a difference.
So with the jig head one, just to go back, when you say snap, you're not talking snap swivel, are you?
No,
You're
no,
talking
just a
lure snap.
Lure snap.
Okay. Yeah, I can't see that being too big of a problem.
Me either, but it looks weird. It
don't-
looks all sorts of wrong. So picture in your brain a lure snap to a jig head.
No,
You're
I
like,
won't. I refuse to.
this is clearly the first time this person's ever been fishing.
Which is fine. And by the way, when I was younger, I used to snap everything.
No, yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong because I'm saying I want to use them, but to me it just looks so wrong.
What do cod anglers do? Same as barra, loop knot everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it could go. It's just there's no right or wrong really. It's just,
A lot of different scenarios.
yeah, a lot of variables. How lazy are you? How
That's a maximum for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let us know. Tying a lure direct versus using a snap swivel. Where do you sit? We're obviously going to ask the loop knot or not.
Or
What did we? I can't remember.
no, I don't mind it. So no, loop knot or not KNOT.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was what it was for. It was a question for lure anglers. Loop knot or just
Not.
straight knot. Not.
Yeah, not.
Okay, good. Well, we've just about hit that time of the show ads where we need to play this.
The deep drop.
Top 6. That's a big statement right there. As always, the top 6 you can get very much involved in and tell us what we've missed, question why we added something, and just give flat out feedback. We've had some great ones over the journey so far, Ads.
Yeah, we have, and we have. So keep them coming.
Yeah, I mean, what was last week? Pizza toppings.
Pizza toppings.
Oh, I mean, come on. It was, like we said off the top of the show, it was pretty positive.
I was pretty comfortable. I still think Gatorade's been the most controversial.
Yeah. Well, can I just quickly burn through them? Because I've got a list of them.
Nice, yeah.
We kicked off with pump-up songs from the Deep Drops Fishing Tunes playlist. That was solid. Then we went barbecue items, NFL helmets, road trip snacks, shit pets, Powerade colours, shit AFL team names, actually, has been the most controversial.
That was very controversial.
That conversation on Instagram and TikTok is still getting comments. Literally tonight there was one. where, so funny boat names. that was just
good.
fun. Yeah. Toasties, ice creams, Easter eggs, pizza toppings.
Okay, nice. And
So
we will
what,
be adding
Adam,
to that list.
What will we be adding?
We're going with the top 6 bakery pies. Now, how this come about, quick story before we get into it, we actually had one of the community reach out and say, and ask, a good topic for the top 6 would be your top 6 bakery items, because it's something we all do on any road trip or we're out early. We find a bakery to stop at and get something from there. We felt as though opening up the whole bakery was probably a little bit tough, so we'll break it down into segments of said bakery, and I think it would only be right to start with the top 6 pie flavours.
Beautiful. Well, it was actually, when you say community, and absolutely part of the community, it was actually Matt Wells, who you might have remembered that name from featuring on the show, the young kayak fisher from New Zealand that got chased by a great white for what seemed like a fucking eternity. And, I mean, if you want to hear that conversation, it's worth a listen. And I'm going to be guessing if I try and tell you what episode it was, but go back. It wasn't that long ago. Or you could find a clip of it. You could find a clip of it on Instagram where we chatted to the young man, and that was very good. But he also gave a little bit of a dig in recommending that, saying that you should do top 6 pies. Oh yeah, Australia don't have good pies.
Oh well, what better time to drop a top 6 on this, because not only do we have one
pies.
good pie, we have 6 of them. So
take it away, Adam.
Buckle up and listen. So it's an easy one for me.
Okay.
Number 1, steak and mushroom.
Nice.
It's always been a favourite of mine. I can't explain why. It just is. There is something about that beef gravy and mushroom that just works.
Yeah. It was on my list, so we were going to get there at some stage. It's probably first. If you were if you were standing in the bakery about to, stand at the podium and select your number 1 draft pick, it's probably that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right. Good. Number 2, plain beef.
Pay it.
Am I being a basic bitch?
Not really, because it's the origin of all pie.
It's your 4 and 20.
Yeah, if you're just not sure and you're not sure what you feel like, you just get a beef pie, meat pie.
That's the one you're having at the footy.
Yeah,
you know
true.
what I'm saying? So
yeah, true. That's a great point. I would feel a little bit awkward sitting at the footy having anything but a plain meat pie.
If someone broke out
I love steak and mushroom, but it'd be weird sitting at the footy having a steak and mushroom.
I was going to say, if someone broke out a steak and mushy, as much as we're all on board, it'd be like, what are you doing?
What happened here? I feel as though the crowd would go silent.
It'd be this awkward. There'd be 100,000 at the MCG, and all of a sudden it's just this, you can hear a pin drop. Yeah. Because old mate in the Great Southern Stands just ripped open a steak and mushy.
Busted out a steak and mushy, not a plain,
read the room,
not
mate.
A plain meat pie. Yeah.
Read the room, mate. Wrong place, wrong time. All right, so number 2, plain beef. I mean, again, you sort of have to, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's only fair. I like it. Number 3, chunky beef and cheese. Now,
it's pretty specific.
It is, and it's a trap for young players. Be careful, because that cheese stays hot for an eternity, and it will burn your face off.
Right.
So just eat with caution. But
is it the equivalent of a hot jam donut, where that jam will literally take layers off your face if you're not careful?
That's right. If you take a bite of a hot jam donut too early, you're essentially go straight to the burns unit.
Oof. Yeah. Okay.
It's going to need dressing.
Yeah. All right. So number 4, shepherd's pie.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
Good.
I like it a lot.
I wasn't sure. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Like it a lot.
Okay, good.
Yep, I like it a lot.
Because do you think that one divides people a bit? I'm not sure if it does. I just thought it's the one that jumps out at me that some people would be like, whoa, no, mate.
I think because there seems to be quite a big difference between a good shepherd's pie and a shit one.
Yeah, and we're kind of not really. Yeah, we're not taking into account a poorly produced and a top end one. We're just saying
Yeah.
what they are. Like, yeah.
So, no, I'm
Assuming they're all great. They're all well made. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, correct.
Okay. Cool.
Like it. All right. We're up to number 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
Number 5. Scallop pie. Now, hear me out. Massive shout out to Sally at the Apollo Bay Bakery.
Right.
Award-winning scallop pies.
Really?
Please.
I've never had one.
Please do yourself a favour. The
Now-
next
now, can
time,
I ask-
time there is a barrel bite at Apollo Bay, because let's face it, it might be the only reason you go to Apollo Bay. Stop in.
Hey, come on.
Well, there's 2 reasons: barrels and scallop pies.
Yeah, okay. Well, can I ask a question? This might be a dumb question. Are they available anywhere else? Like, do the team down there, you're obviously very, very familiar and tight-knit with what's it called?
Apollo Bay Bakery.
Right. It's not that. I should have remembered that. What are they made and sent to other retailers, or is this a very much just you can only get them there?
No. I think you'd be surprised at where you can get scallop pies.
No, but these ones. You're talking.
There.
It's just
Go there.
It's a long way. I mean, it's not that far from me.
Award-winning scallop pies.
Can we get some organised? Can we get the Apollo Bakery on board to maybe send the deep drop a few?
I'll reach out to Sally.
Do your best. I've never had a scallop pie. I love scallops.
They're so.
In a
These
pie.
ones are so good.
What's it with?
You can either get them. Well, it's okay. You've got choices. In a Mornay sauce is generally a little bit more, I guess, probably traditional.
Yeah.
Or a curry sauce. Both really good. I probably lean more towards the Mornay.
Okay. All right. Well, it's funny that you just mentioned curry.
Oh.
Because this is number 6. I've got to come home strong and I'm nervous. But number 6 is a curry pie.
Okay. I can't remember the last time I had one. It was actually a curry scallop pie.
Mate, it's not all about scallop pies, all right? Move on from that. That was number 5.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm intrigued.
pie.
I'm not going to lie. I'm intrigued. I want to try a scallop.
Curry pie. Okay.
So, yeah.
Don't hate it, but can't remember the last time I had one.
Yeah, that's okay.
Might have to give it a crack this week.
We do a pie night. We need a pie night. Remember the footy club pie nights?
Pie night.
The deep drop pie night. Is anyone listening that would be involved?
Could that be the theme of the next live show?
Well, you'd have to do pizza and pie night.
The deep drop. Could we go the triple P night?
Wait, what's the third? Okay.
The triple P night. Deep drop triple Ps.
So
Pizza, piss and porn.
Oh, okay, right. So we could do pie and pizza night. Have the top 6 pizzas and top 6 pies.
Oh, this has to happen.
Can we? Okay. I mean,
right.
I'm not even
Write that
fucking
down.
around. This has got to happen.
Write that down.
I don't even need to. It's
there.
It's there.
I love that.
Pie and pizza night, deep drop.
Oh.
Have you got any honourable mentions for the pies, Adam?
I do. I've got a couple. The bacon and egg pie.
You did bacon and egg toasty.
Yeah.
I'm just a bacon and egg fan. I'm surprised you didn't fucking have an Aussie as for the pizza.
Maybe I need to lay off the bacon and eggs.
Yeah, I had on my list, but I just wasn't feeling this is the direction to go in because it was very much a savoury list. But were we going to accept sweet pies or not?
No. I'm glad you didn't go there.
No, well, I felt it. I felt that was the wrong way to go.
It's a different list.
Okay.
And I'm for a sweet pie. It's just a different list. You would have missed the brief.
What's your number one sweet pie? Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't say it.
With
That would've
cream
been
or
awkward.
ice cream?
Ice cream.
Yeah, good choice.
Just a dollop though. Don't go overboard.
Yeah, don't be silly.
Don't be and you just want to watch it fucking just melt over that bad boy.
Yes.
You know. Oof.
You got any more honourable mentions?
No, not really. Not really.
No, same. Because I'm pretty comfortable with that top 6.
Really content with that top 6, and that I mean, no. Well, hey, that's just us, and as always, like hand it over to the community. What have we missed? What's in there that you go, that's shit? Like whatever.
There's one more burning question.
Yeah.
To round out this top 6.
Oh, burning. I like what you did
nicely.
there. Burning.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
There's one big thing. Now, I need you to take this. The last little bit of this question, I need you to take it very seriously because our friendship rides on it.
Okay, I'm locked in. Oh, I'm nervous.
Sauce? Hang on, let me be specific.
Was that all you were going to say? I thought you were going to do the options.
No options. So, are you a sauce on your pie kind of guy?
Yes.
Okay. We're okay.
And if it's a shepherd's pie, heaps of sauce.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay. So
like a little bit of shepherd's pie with your sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think you do. I think you have different sauce levels for the different pies that you're having. Plain beef, load it up.
Load it. Yes.
Shepherd's. You might even, with a plain beef pie, stick the nozzle of the sauce bottle in it.
Yes. Do you get a little bit of spewage out the side?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Good.
Shepherd's pie loaded up, but maybe a chunky beef and cheese or a scallop pie, not so much. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, you're spot on. So no sauce on a scallop pie, please. Let's not be silly.
No, that's fair.
Do you sauce a curry pie?
You can sauce a curry pie.
Okay, but you're going light on the lighter end of the sauce.
You're going light. Yeah.
Same with the beef and cheese. Mix in cheese and tomato sauce. Probably keep it to a minimum.
Yeah,
and
steak and mushy.
You load it.
You load it.
Maybe not as loaded
much
as a plain
shepherd's.
pie. Yeah.
Or a shepherd's, yeah.
Yeah.
So on the loaded scale, shepherd's the most, plain pie, you know what I'm saying? So shepherd's just empty your bottle on.
Yeah.
Plain pie as much as you want.
At
your discretion.
I'd probably flip those two.
You'd put more sauce on a plain pie than a shepherd's.
Yep.
Okay. That's fair. That's okay.
But it's marginal.
And then you'd kind of just taper off as you go through, and by the end, by a scallop pie, you're not putting any on.
Not putting sauce on it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I'm glad we cleared that up. That's good.
Have we got any non-sauces in the community? Do you reckon? Probably.
Yeah, probably. It's unfortunate, but it's okay.
Is there a better feeling
Everyone's
than?
welcome.
Is there a better feeling than getting to the point of the pie, as in the time you've had it, where it's at perfect, just smash it down temperature?
Yes.
That moment where you realise I can go hard here.
Yeah.
Is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, and just put it away like a 4-bite special. That's what you're aiming for, really.
Because early doors, it's really like I've got to be careful.
You don't want to fuck around too much eating a pie because you don't want the filling to go everywhere.
No.
So you know what I mean?
You need a solid pastry base.
Yep.
But you don't want to leave it in there too long because it'll start soggying up the pastry a bit.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go in too early because you'll fucking have 8-degree burns on your face.
Correct.
Fuck, it's a fucking intense situation when you think
It
about
is.
it.
Yeah,
a lot of anxiety
not as simple as it seems.
built around. No.
And the first bite is always anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
Because
How do you start?
Everybody knows you can't just nibble at the tip. You've got to get into
That's our opener. That's our show opener.
You know what I mean?
best.
The first bite's got to be a bite. It's
but
part of
you
the game
can't.
of eating a pie.
It's like Russian roulette.
Yeah.
But you can't go massive mouthful, though.
But not because you will end up with 6 degree
what I'm
burns.
saying.
No, but
Down
you've
your
got to.
fucking throat and
I'll say,
everything.
but your first bite's got to have meat in it. You can't just be nibbling at the pastry.
No. I like to go in from the seam
Yeah,
of the lid and go in at an angle. Because if you
like
have
a
to pull
downward
out,
angle.
yeah, downward angle. Because if you have to pull out because that thing's excruciatingly hot,
You still want
you
the pie to be intact,
yeah, you haven't bitten a hole through the bottom.
and it's not falling on your neck.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's fucking art, a skill to this.
there is. It's not as
Jesus.
simple as just smashing down a pie.
Well, there's a lot. I hope there's something to take away there. But listen, get in touch. Thank you, everyone, for listening and being involved this week. And let us know what the weather does to your fishing mindset. How does it, completely brain fuck you? Let us know if you hear any more ESPN arena fishing ads. I'm keen to hear.
And tune in at 2 p.m. on Saturday, apparently. ESPN.
Apparently, yeah. Tying a lure direct or using a snap swivel, and also answer the question about the loop knot or maybe it's just what sort of knot do you connect?
I feel as though that question's open to a voice memo answer. Talk us through it.
We haven't had a voice memo for a while.
Nah, send them through. Talk us through.
Send them through. And then, of course, let us know what your thoughts are on the top 6 pies tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty comfortable with the top 6.
Yeah, it's a bloody good top 6. And if we have a pie and pizza night and we lay out the top 6 pies and pizzas,
It's happening.
Don't eat lunch that day because that night you are feasting.
Correct.
All right, ads. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Adam. You have yourself a lovely week.
Peace.